No matter if this is the first time you're seeing me, or if you have been frequent on my channels, I've received a new collective. Here's the thing. This new collective was sent to me in May. And I have become familiarized with it enough now that it's time to bring the lessons into the collective. This is the smallest collective I have. I say this to you because there's probably a handful of people here who are going to watch this right now, continue a little bit forward, see what this collective is about, and then be like, oh, I know that I'm not part of this collective, but that's cool. This is one of those collectives that really, like, you know, of course, little things here or there could be different, but if you're really having to notice that most of the reading you're not resonating with, it probably means this isn't your collective. And you can organically find the other collectives you're in if you're not already completely aware of which ones those are. This collective is called the Found Men Collective. And with that being said, the purpose of it is to connect with the male audience more than anybody else with this specific collective. That means men from all walks of life, all different places. But another purpose of this collective, a lot of the women who are part of my collectives, whoever your masculine is, he is part of the Found Man Collective. Even though this reading is something that he may not even see, his energy is with these other men. And if you're in times of having confusion, of understanding him, or you're in separation for further growth, you're feeling a little lost, you're wanting to channel really what he's thinking and nothing else, the Found Men Collective is then for you to watch. That's how it will benefit you. That's my intentions, but of course, you take it from there. If you're still here, that means you know you're meant to align with this message. Whatever is to be said, you're meant to hear, and you take it from there. So, it's been a very long time since I've even done one of the Found Men Collective readings. It's also been a long time since I've done a YouTube collective reading. I've done, you know, the constant things you see me upload are about the TikTok readings, which of course still connect with YouTube, but I have a specific collective I have called the YouTube collective. Everybody that resonates with at least one of my messages is part of the TikTok collective. Every single one of you. But some people will also connect to the YouTube collective and the Found Men and the Archangels, all of the stuff and above. Those become much more specific. It's basically a branch. To even enter any of my collectives, somebody has to be part of the TikTok one. It's like a check mark. For you, you are part of my smallest collective. Because these readings will not sugarcoat what's going on. These readings are going to help you reflect on yourself and also acknowledge if there's anything that somebody else could be doing in the wrong to you. This is not a place where we're going to deflect and throw away the purpose behind confrontation, the purpose behind trials and tribulations. But this is also a place where you're not going to take ownership for things that you're not supposed to. This is not a place that you become a coward. And this is not a place where you become a dark warrior. This is a place where you become a wise warrior. These collective readings are filmed very differently than what you see me do on the TikTok. TikTok is where I make it more fast-paced. The TikTok collective readings, they're normally about 10 to 20 minutes, and they're done at a pretty faster pace. These readings are going to give the energy of planning a day of going on a nature walk with your friend. You got your backpacks, your boots. You know you're going to be in store for a very physical, demanding, but releasing day. That is the energy of what these bring. And you, on these walks, have talks of wisdom that you wouldn't feel comfortable having at really any other time. There's just something about being with your best friend in the nature exerting your energy that makes it easier to become emotionally vulnerable. Here, we take our time and then we go forward. So, I kept hearing this song that channeled this message for me. And in case you're not aware of the band, I'm going to tell you what type of music they are. The song's called Give, and it's by Sleep Token. Sleep Token it's like a progressive metal, more hardcore type of band. If that's not your type of music, what I would suggest is just looking up the lyrics then. And allowing yourself to just listen to the lyrics, or to read the lyrics. Because there's a chance that even though you haven't listened to this type of music before, it may hit your soul in a different way. It may open you up to another level. The song Give is all about not lusting for a woman or a partner, but deeply knowing your soul's meant for somebody, and you're feeling something like in a way you've never had before for a person. But when I say that, I'm not meaning you haven't felt deep passion and true romance with other people, where you thought it was endgame. You've experienced that. You've experienced false divines. But in all those past relationships, situationships, the things that were similar was this chasing energy. You would hit a point where you realized this is not a balanced give and take. You led off motivation and lust without realizing it in those dynamics. Your heart did feel something, but there was a sense of compulsion, of not being able to control how fast you went. In a book that I'm calling to tell you about before I finish talking about and explaining what boy psychology is this book called The King, Warrior, Magician, Lover. Actually, one of my apprentices told me about this book and gifted it to me. His name's Michael. And I'm definitely going to make sure to tag him in the Instagram and YouTube, or Instagram and TikTok uploads for this. The best way I like to explain this book to people is it's like a father in a book. No matter if you had an amazing father or somebody that was not there for you, something about this book, reading it, brings a level of fatherly nurture and safety to you. It answers questions that you didn't even know you needed the answer to. And when you allow yourself to spend portions of your free time enacting in research like this, no matter if it's a book or if you listen to it, if you're somebody that you don't like reading, totally understand. There's audiobooks, or even if you watch YouTube videos, you follow creators who really teach you what it means to be a man. A man leads through discipline, but also nurture. A man is self-balanced and controlled, but also extremely, extremely sympathetic. A man is balanced and sees his feminine nature as a strength. The most dangerous man in the room will be the person that's not one with their feminine nature, their own nurture, compassion, sympathy. That's going to be the man that does before thinking, that says things he doesn't mean, that leads through pride and fear of losing control, so then it turns into corruption, turns into a dictatorship. The man that's in touch with his feminine nature will be the strongest man in the room. That will be the one that thinks before doing. That will be the one that makes decisions not based off what's best for him, what's based off that's best for everybody. That will be the person that is willing to meet the frequency and give the respect and love to others that they demand. I feel called to read the Prelude to you. And from you reading that with us, you figuring out if this is a book that you really would be interested in getting. It's not expensive. And it's not a bad read at all. And this book is a good size. It's not too big, it's not too small. It's a very good read and something that you can reread over and over again as well. So, here's the Prelude. The archetype of the king, warrior, magician, and lover has been increasingly focused in men's gatherings and publications in the United States and abroad. Indeed, Many people assume that these patterns have traditionally been understood to be the building blocks of mature masculine. In fact, the psychological research that led to the naming of these archetypes as the 4 fundamental configurations, which, in a dynamic relationship, constitute the deep structures of the mature male psyche. It is our belief that the psychological findings outlined in these structures can constitute a major and potentially revolutionary breakthrough in decoding the fundamental deep structures of the human self, both masculine and feminine. This decoding of what Carl Jung called the double quantum tarot builds on Jung's understanding of the archetypal self, but it extends our grasp of the inner geography behind Jung's work, built into the dynamic of the deep self, the king, the magician, the lover, and warrior. Our purpose in writing this book, however, has been to offer men a simplified and readable outline of an operator's manual for the male psyche. Reading this book should help you understand your strengths and weaknesses as a man and provide you with the map to the territories of masculine selfhood, which you still need to explore. Something that this book will teach you about is what's called boy psychology versus man psychology. Spirit's telling me if you look through the lenses of this situation with this woman or potential partner, through the lenses of boy psychology, you will think it's not worth it. You will think it's a loss. If you look at this through the lenses of man psychology, you will see this is the exact person you've been manifesting and that you cannot give up right now. And this is not the same situation of anybody you've ever been with before. You see, boy psychology made you lead through lust, temptation, motivation, that pre-workout effect, if you guys have ever heard me talk about it. When I say the words pre-workout, it's an analogy, okay? When we go to the gym, and if we decide to take pre-workout, the beginning of your session, the beginning of your workout is you're going to have the best energy. And you're going to really go ahead and exert that extra energy while you have it, because you do know throughout time it's just going to diminish. And then consistency is going to be what guides you through the rest of your workout. This dynamic, this person, them being in your life, and I'm going to say she, but just in case, like, if your person is not a she, take it as us just talking about your feminine. But I don't want to continue to have to, say that over and over again. It will just disrupt the message. So I'm going to say she from here on out, but remember what I just stated. Even if I'm saying she and your person's not a she, they're just definitely your feminine. Definitely your feminine. So the things that have attracted you to her, there were not the same things when you went for these other relationships. I'm hearing she's probably not even, go with me here, she's not even your type. Some of you here are going to say, I don't have a type. And some of you are going to be like, yeah, I can see exactly what you mean. I did think that. Even if you don't have a type, if you look back at your past relationships, maybe the type isn't about the way they outwardly look. I'm talking about the way they acted inside. You had a type, and that was individuals that made you chase. Because it came from a deep-seated sense of not having self-love, not being taught it. But in these past 5 years of your life, I'm hearing you've done the most work you ever have. And you've moved mountains. You've broken so many curses, trauma-filled curses that have been passed down. You every day continue to break generational curses that were never your need to break to begin with. But something about your soul, something about your essence has taken full responsibility of what your family, bloodline, generations have done. And that's why you feel this deep weight on your shoulders, because you have to understand. People in the past in your family, if you're taking on all this weight, it means that very few of them took on any responsibility in their lifetimes to enact this balance of karma within your bloodline. You've had some family members who did, but I'm hearing you are the one that's taken on the most in all of it. Other people saw how much was left and chose and picked how much. You saw how much was left and said, okay, just put it all on my back, let's get it. That is why you were attracted to women who made you feel that pull. It's almost a hero complex, okay? There's a difference between a hero complex and being a hero. Hero complex is boy psychology. Being a hero is man psychology. And it's actually even more called hero comparison. When you can compare and relate to figures versus wanting to be them, that's when you've really won. Boy psychology will have you thinking that because you picked up a girl, she agreed to a date, you took her out to eat, that you're promised something sexual after, or even a kiss. Boy psychology will have you believing that doing something like that is a hero complex. Oh, I'm whining and dining her. I'm whisking her off her feet. So I'm just owed this. You don't even know if she actually is having a good time. Sometimes you can get wrapped up. And when I say you, I don't mean you specifically, but I'm talking about masculines as an overall in this collective. We've all had moments where you can get wrapped up in doing what I think she wants versus actually what she wants. Man psychology will have you ask her before you even plan a date, what type of food do you like? Is there something you've been craving lately that we can go get? Would you like me to pick you up? Not demanding. You can have confidence. You should have confidence. But not being so overly demanding, like I am picking you up. Make things presented in a way where you are leaving a safe comfort zone for them to say no, but showing that you're all about it. What attracted you to her? Think about the difference in mindset. For this person, you were like, she's grown. Internally, mentally, spiritually. She doesn't want to play games. I can feel she's been through a lot more than she has been willing to tell me or express to a lot of people. That she keeps so much in her own heart. I can feel how much people rely on her and how independent she is. She doesn't make you feel like you have to rush into everything so fast. You receive motivation, absolutely. You receive fireworks, but they're not these big explosions. And that's a great thing. That's an amazing thing. Karmic connections are what make you feel like the crazy, like almost on a unstoppable high firework moment. A divine, a soul tie. It's still celebrative. It's still explosive. It's still a lot of fun. But there's a comfort. It's not this feeling of it's going to dissipate, so I need to really just soak it all in right now. It's a feeling of this is going to continue. So instead of focusing all of the intensity on one moment and getting everything out, you guys are taking things the right pace. But boy psychology will have you believing this person doesn't want more than a friendship. When everything else, when men's psychology will be telling you it's different. With that being said, let's get into the cards. Our box or oracle is what we're using today for our illustration of the reading. Right. Let's see. Grab our cards. Another thing we do here on the Found Men Collective, but also for the YouTube Collective, is I'm going to write down what they mean, any words, any pictures I see. And then throughout the reading, I'm going to continue to receive even more and more channeled messages from the words. It's called scribing. I love the scribe. It just takes much more time. All right. So now we're going to go ahead, flip over our cards. Let's do this. We have three big things we want to talk to you about today, one by one. Number one is going to be, we're going to straight up explain to you why this is worth it, why this is not something like you've experienced in the past. You have for so long been used to just like needing to release. Or romantic relationships, but even more than that. Habits, friends, people, places. A lot of changes, okay? And we need you to also see, we need to highlight physical world signs that I've already shown you this is different. We'll get into that when we get into that. The second group, okay, we're gonna explain to you the reason for your inner confliction with what she wants from you. We're gonna get into your inner confliction about insecurity and where the parasite's trying to cling and run with the rest of your energy and information also. Group 3, okay, this is going to be explaining you her intentions with you. Straight up. Does she even want you in a relationship? Does she desire you that way, or does she just see you as a safe space, a friend? We'll see. This reading, no matter what happens, you need to remember you don't need any specific woman to accept you, to make you worth love. A woman that makes you think you have to run and chase her, that's not somebody that's for you. You are deserving of balance, give and take. You are a masculine, so there's a little bit more effort that's done just because of that. It's a different form of effort. It's just taking charge, but you should still receive that back and forth. And I see this woman proving it to you, okay? So let's take it with the first set. Here are some signs we've already fought through. A lot of people, a lot of 3D world distraction also. So with past relationships, the literal 3D world would make disturbances. When you were going to go see somebody, a big storm would come. And then you probably decided to go through it, go through the storm, but it was almost a sign you felt like Spirit saying, don't go this way. This is a karmic connection. Or things just wouldn't really go right. It would just seem like you're getting all the red lights and something trying to keep it from happening. They were to help you see when Spirit's saying do something or don't do something. And the only way you're going to know when they're telling you to not do something is if you experience it enough times doing it when they didn't, to realize that feeling. You see the feeling of when it's like ego or lust, temptation that's pulling you in a relationship versus the heart. You weren't ready for her until this year, is what they want me to say as well. No matter how grown, no matter what you've been through, something this year, you ended a cycle, you broke a karmic connection, and that's why she came into your life this year. Or why you had the realization about each other this year if you've known each other for a long time. You could feel connections in the past literally blocking like your energy, your telepathic connection, even denying it. But this person, she doesn't. She doesn't deny it. In fact, I feel for both of you the most comfortable way to talk right now is telepathically. I see that you feel and you understand what she's been through, like deeply. Like you were told when you were younger that you were too in touch with your feminine nature, that it was weak. And that was the farthest from the truth. You literally are leading by example. This is literally part of that generational curse, that trauma that we were talking about. As soon as frequencies would shift where it wasn't like this like deep high vibration, you would feel them pull back. You see, a roller coaster buddy, somebody that needs to be in your life, you need to be able to go through like misunderstandings or uncomfortable moments enough with each other to see that it's worth it, that you will both go through it. But that's a freedom of will thing, and most people, you have experienced with that freedom of will, them saying bye. It became almost like natural to assume that is what most people are like. As soon as you're not meeting the image of who they thought you were, they go. But what I'm hearing is this person, okay, you guys have already gone through moments where you both could have just ghosted each other and assumed things, but instead you processed them and continued to talk, continued this back and forth rapport. She wants exactly what you want, which is balance. The thing is, the signs that she's worth it, that she's different, the things you talk about as well, they're not what you talked about with other people. Even if you go and you ask questions about each other about like mundane things, it doesn't feel mundane. You have to understand, like, she has a lot of guard up because of how much she actually likes you. Go with me here. She would not have done the amount of communication. She would not have given you another form of communication to her or seeing you if she did not feel something here that was worth taking a leap. She's very scared to trust and love again. I see you are too, but you're really picking up on the fact that she also sees that the signs are different with you, but she has had masculines who have taken advantage of her. She told herself she would never allow that to happen again. She feels the ability to crumble in your arms. That scares, not because of anything to do with you, because of her past. For both of you, the reason it's worth it is because the signs are different. Her motivation is your consistency, not your looks, not what you can do for her, not what she can get with you, not what it looks like to be with you. Your heart and soul. And you're the same for her. Now we're talking about the reason with your inner confliction, okay? Editing Matt here. The whole next part of this reading, the microphone unplugged. You can still hear me perfectly fine, and I've even advanced up or leveled up the audio on that specific part of the reading, but you're going to hear a little bit of a sound difference, and that's why. All right, let's get back to the reading. The reason for the inner confliction, everything to do with you. You have felt a complete death of who you once were. You can look back at pictures and you don't see the same person. The mindset, not the same person. You've done so much physical body investment into who you are as well. Something we have to talk about. We have to. And acknowledge this. You've gone through some form of glow up in your life, whether it was 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 5 years ago, 5 months ago, 5 days ago. It doesn't matter. You have experienced in some form of a glow up, and there was a time in your life where nobody saw you. But as soon as you started meeting a society's standards of what attractive is, that's when you received a whole other form of admirement and attention from others. This really messed with your psyche for years, if not decades, depending on who you are. Because you saw it as only being that attractiveness. With the thing is, the outside was reflecting the inside. Other people were attracted absolutely to the way you looked, but it was far beyond that. That magnitude, actually, a lot of people saw the sun within you. And I mean sun with a U, not sun with an O. They saw the sun within you. That's the motivation. That's like the sun is the masculine and the star is the feminine. And when you bring them together, the brightness, the world, you are always making something bright together. The masculine, during the day, the sun, and then the moon comes. And the moon is reflecting. The sun is reflecting off the moon. It's like this sense of sharing light. So your inner friction is not wanting to fall back into a trap and feeling like you're going backwards. You only met her after you completed a cycle. Another reason I hear inner confliction for you is because you're not settling with her. Okay, with past people, no matter how great of a person or beautiful or etc. they were, there was an internalness of settling. You could have been like, oh, I'm really attracted to this person, but something within it tells me that, like, emotionally, I'll never be able to really open up to them. But maybe that's just the way it is. Maybe that's like, that's just how it is. No matter who I'm with, I'll always feel that way. So why am I going to just sway away from somebody if it's going to be that way with every connection? Or you would receive like the emotional connection, but there was something of not a form of deep attraction. You know, you don't open up your body just to anybody, neither does she. And then when it comes to her morals, when it comes to what she does as a person, how she's chosen to do this walk of life, it's like everything you looked for. And it's almost too good to be true type of energy. And I have a feeling she feels the same way about you. Neither of you are putting the other on a pedestal, but it's just breathtaking, to be honest, to be in your guys' energy, how you feel for each other. I mean, this is Tangle Partner Effect. The third thing that I want us to talk about with you today is her intentions, okay? Well, right now, she wants to make everything happen for a reason. She has had a lot of imbalance in her life. So you have to understand, there's gonna be times where you feel her kind of shift and become colder. It's not because she doesn't like you, it's from something happening in her life that caused a vulnerable moment. Maybe you said something that reminded her of somebody and you didn't even realize it. It could be something very innocent. With people that are meant to be in our life, there's gonna be moments of like a triggering event, which is actually just activation. It's different. We'll go into that another time. But I'm telling you, she does not want to take from you. She also feels like she could be kind of like she's getting through thinking she's a burden to be with, just like you. Just like you've had a lot of relationships and situationships where it was always keeping in and like supporting the other person emotionally, physically, even financially at some points. She also knows she's never dealing with that again. And as long as you are being true to who you are, that's what she's saying, with time, I'll be able to see enough time, enough repetitive, like actions by you. It's just because she just will wake up one day and see, okay, this person's being authentic to who they are. They truly are. And this is how she sees you. Okay, she sees you as a protector. She's deeply physically attracted to you. She sees you as the realistic knight in shining armor. She sees you as somebody she manifested as main event energy. Final match, deep anticipation, what you've waited for. Okay, unconditional actions, realistic knight, being a safe space. And then she doesn't feel like spirit is sending her signs of like divine intervention, like you guys are supposed to go away from each other. All of her signs show this divine intervention is bringing you together. And even though you don't fully know each other's stories yet, you're going to be so surprised by how in sync they are and how much both of you must have released something that was, even if it had been a long time since you've been with the person, short time, whatever. I'm talking about this other karmic connection. You both, in the past 2 months, actually finished that cycle and told yourself, no matter what happens with anybody else in my life I ever meet, I will never go back to that. And you popped into each other's life, or you had a realization in that time frame, like that you knew this person for years, okay, and there was like a blinder to them. Remember, these are collective, your taste what resonates. Some of you here, you've met this person in the past year or the past like year and a half, 2 years, but for some of you, you've probably known this person for a very long time and there were blinders, meaning this romantic connection, the way you're seeing each other now, and that you're different. But for a lot of you here, this is more fresher in that like 2 year frame that you have met this new person and released. But within this past year, no matter if it's somebody you know for a while or recent, is when you had this aha that they are who I've manifested. This is who spirit told me to not settle on anybody else for. And you just need to proceed forward with confidence. Okay? We're gonna sign off with this. These are the last things we need to highlight for you. Number one, the spiritual purpose behind your relationship, you are soul ties. No matter if you're in a physical relationship yet, or if you're just still talking, whatever, you're soul ties. You're destined to me in every lifetime. This is far from the last and far from the first lifetime you've had together. And I hear that there probably is some karmic redemption you guys are doing together in this lifetime based off of something not being able to be fulfilled in another, but we'll talk about that in another day. I just feel like I should tell you there's something to do with ancient Egypt with it for sure. In this lifetime, told each other what you're going to do here is bring an appetite for life and knowledge back into each other's lives. You both have your own spiritual purposes, okay? But what you are to do together is to bring your abundances together. And I just keep seeing the mix of like the milk and honey. You are meant to do a domino effect in this world. Your love story is something that when you are ready, when you too, when your feminine, etc., is ready for your story to be known, it will change lives. It will be another form of inspiration. Your story is still in the making and you're still taking it day by day. But remember, you are in each other's life now because of divine intervention saying it's time. The day by day means you're still making miles every day. You're not just sticking in one spot. Destiny has made it to where you two agreed that in this life, your soul tie connection is to bring an appetite for life and knowledge back. Here's what we leave off. We're going to highlight for you again what makes you a magician, a king, a warrior, and a lover. The magician within you is the creator, is the master manifester. It's where everything stems from. The king within you is the guider, the helping hand, the nurturer through safety for others. The generous king, the person that takes responsibility and honor within those responsibilities. The warrior within you is the one that makes the decisive actions, spur of the moment, and makes you channel your courageous energy and take leaps of faith. And lastly, but definitely not leastly, the lover within you is the one that sees that everything is connected. You're deeply intertwined with the universe. The lover is what makes you one with your feminine nature. The king is what makes you one with your masculine nature. The magician is what makes you creative and bringing that flair. And the warrior is what makes you remember your primal strength. To be a full human, to be a full man, especially, no matter how your life started, no matter what body you're in. That embodiment is what makes you the man you are today. That's what I got for y'all today. I'll see you when I see you. Let's change the world together. Let's do this.